Can hardly see it. The sun is just...
Okay.
Just... Okay, that's smaller. That was the smaller one last time I showed them. And look how big that is.
A bite? A bite?
Wow.
A bite.
A bite? Eat it. You eat it. He gave it for the worm.
Don't sit there.
Okay.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
humongous.
It's huge. So here is our Black Beauty zucchini. And as big as this zucchini is, you would think that they're past the prime eating time, but I gotta... Wait up, let me see. Can you hold that together? Let me see which one is bigger. My goodness. Could you believe this? My zucchini is almost bigger than the bottle gourd, which normally are much bigger than zucchini. But no, that one is really huge. That's for my seeds. But we're harvesting right there. I like to harvest my bottle gourd while they're very nice and young and tender.
It's heavy.
Yeah. So look at this.
It's heavy.
And I'm gonna try to... Oh, oops.
It's
Okay.
heavy.
It's huge. Yeah. Go ahead and harvest that. Oh. It's right at my elbow. I'm just trying to see how long it is. Arm's length. Arm's length. Oh. Okay, let me get a shot of that. Okay. Take a look at that. I mean, this zucchini is so much bigger than the bottle gourd. Okay, we are also going to harvest some of these Italian green beans today. Well, let me show you. And this is not the biggest it gets. I remember harvesting this a lot bigger before, but I like to harvest this beans while it's tender like this, nice and tender. These are actually stringless green beans. That's one of the main reason why I like this Italian green beans is not only very flavorful, I like the flavor, it's also a stringless type of green beans to harvest. So you can see I actually have, let me go on the other side and I'll show you another. Ooh, this gotten big already. Okay. Still in a very good tender stage. Now, I have another area where Italian green beans are planted, and what I decided to do is, as you can see, I'm going to keep these green beans here for seeds. Okay? So I'm not gonna harvest on this side. Maybe eventually later in the season, when I know I have accumulated enough good size and good quality green beans for saving seeds. So right now they are producing good quality beans as well, and I'm going to allow this to just continue producing more beans so that I could gather and harvest the seeds later in the season. So that's one area where my green beans are planted. This time we're going to harvest what I got here. As you can see, we got lots of green beans. See, the thing with green beans, you have to harvest it if you want it to continue producing. And it's put out a good amount of green beans that we really must harvest. As you can see right there. Let me see if I could do it with just my, yeah, just have to make sure that I put my nail to break it off, because I don't want to have to completely break off the vine. If you just pull on it, you might wind up breaking off the vine completely, but there. So, but we got a good amount of beans to harvest this time today. And once you harvested the big ones, it should put out more beans for next harvest. Okay, so let me go ahead and help my husband. This is gonna be fun. I plucked it before I get to show you, but you see this? I plucked two from this vine, and one of these little right here. Let me show you. Let me pull it out. You see that immature beans right there? It started turning yellow. That's because the bigger and more mature beans or pod are taking the energy. So what the plant does when it senses an overload, it will start aborting the younger beans. So it's good to harvest regularly for more production. Okay, if you want to stop or slow down the production, you could leave mature beans on the vine, but the thing is, you want to continue the production, so you have to harvest on time. And once that the vine sends more energy available, it will continue on producing more green beans for you. Okay, see, this is falling in a category of a little too young for harvest. It could grow more, but like I said, production is important for me right now. So I'm gonna at least take one and leave the rest there. Okay, so here's one good example which I had not picked. You see this nice, good size? This is okay to harvest right now. It could still go on, but you see that the vine is sensing this mature pod here, and therefore you can see that these two little pods here are turning yellow. That is because the vine is starting to abort because it senses, actually my husband picked one right there. It senses that there are a couple of mature pods in a vine, and there's something else taking the energy from these two immature pods here. So that's the reason why you must harvest on time. Okay, so here's I believe this is the third times we pick some of our produce here. Every now and then I'll come here and grab one or two, which I did not show in my video, but this time I made a video of this. We have bok choy harvested today, and here are our Italian green beans. As you can see, got a very good amount of green beans in there, as you can see. Oh, let me show you this. I went ahead and picked the bitter melon. These are the first fruit, which it's not quite a good quality fruit, but it's a good idea to pick your first fruit when it comes to the bitter melon. At least that way the energy can be more can be concentrated more into growing the vine healthier and stronger, so that it can produce a more better quality of fruits. Okay, so this will only take a lot of energy, because this is the first fruit, which is at the bottom towards the base of the plant, and it's like hijacking the energy before it can be distributed towards the top of the vine. So you want to pick the first fruit, which usually on the lower part of the vine. Okay, so this is our Italian green beans harvest. This will, I will most likely be able to freeze some of this by blanching it quickly and then drying it up a little bit and sticking it into my freezer. I have more than enough to share some of that. And I went ahead and picked 2 of my bottle gourd. This one is all the way at the bottom or the base of the vine, so I went ahead and picked this. This was in a lateral shoot, or lateral vine, which we're going to prune anyway, so I went ahead and take that. And here's another bottle gourd, which I will be cooking today. And take a good look at our zucchini. These are black beauty zucchini. Oh my goodness, it's just humongous. Let me show you comparison to my hand. It's huge. Here's my elbow. Let me put the oops. It's too long. I cannot do it from this end going to that end, but it's a good about 14 to 15 inches long, I would say. I don't have, oh, hold on. Okay, so pardon me. Who takes tape measure in the garden? Joe will do that for you. Okay, this is a black beauty zucchini we harvested, and as you can see, oh, 14 inches. I guessed 15. That's because I was having a hard time handling it. Okay, so we have 14 inches long, and I would say this is probably 4 in diameter, 3 to 4 in diameter. Yep, see, right here to the widest part of the zucchini. Yeah, right, going down there, that's no less than 3.5 to 4 inches. That's the black beauty zucchini, and we have 1, 2, 3, and this is today's harvest. Not bad at all. We're starting to harvest our produce, our vegetables in our garden, and I'm satisfied so far with what we are getting. Okay, I will give you an update and give you a little tour of my garden in a little while. Right now we're going to take this inside the house so that it could stay fresh before the extreme dry heat of the sun start causing it to wilt. Okay, so to give credit where credit is due, as I said before in my earlier video, it's been a while since I harvested zucchini because of my squash vine borer problem in this garden. But let me give this netting here the credit that is due, because although it is not a sufficient size for this raised bed, I explained earlier where I had to make do with some of my shade cloth, which help make ends meet, so to speak. So this is, I believe, let me see, 6 by 10 netting. I've forgotten the size already. And as you can see, it will not reach all the way down to the bottom of the raised bed. So I had used shade cloth and tool right here, so that I pieced them up so that I could create what you see there as my raised bed, covered raised bed completely. The only problem with that is you will not have a pollinator in there. You will have to pollinate the squash blossoms yourself. And when you consider that if you have problem with vine borers, you will not have anything to harvest regardless whether the bee pollinated it for you or anything else pollinated the flowers for you, because once the squash vine borer got a hold of the plant and just invade it, you will not have any harvest at all, which I have experienced several times, okay? But because of this, we put a little effort by pollinating our squash or zucchini. And finally, for the first time in a long time, we are now again harvesting zucchini. And I'm actually harvesting almost at least twice a week. I would harvest some zucchinis here. And today, that's what my harvest is. Okay, to give credit where credit is due, this netting that I have here, I was inspired by this agricultural fabric that was that I presented before. If you look into my video, my solution to my bugs and insect problems. So although there are some negative on this as far as you putting a little more effort into making sure that your flowers are pollinated to ensure harvest, it is well worth the effort, okay?